Welcome. You've seen the tweets. You've seen the posts on Instagram. It's the Combat and Strength podcast with Campbell, Wong and Long. Give ourselves a round of applause. Welcome. The number one podcast on combat and strength on all issues, fitness, fighting, and all that sort of stuff. This side of the Atlantic, and it's all led by myself, Wong and Long. Listen, I'm excited about this, you know. It's been a little while since in the planet, in the offing. This man here, I can't wait to get it on with him. I'm going to punch him in his face. This is going to be a regular theme on our show. I'm working on my sprinting as well to see if I can run away from him quick enough, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a martial arts don. What's the show about, Joe? What's the show about, Wong?
Combat and strength. Simple, straight to the point. We're going to be covering all aspects of the combat sports sector, all aspects of the strength sector. And we're going to dig deep and turn over some stones what people haven't been turning over.
There's a lot of podcasts out there, Wong.
It is. And loads of shit as well, isn't it?
There is a load of shit out there, Wong. I know that's your favourite word. We're not going to be shit, are we?
No, man. We're going to make it good. We've got quite very exciting people there, you know?
Tell us about yourself, Wong, because we see you on YouTube prancing about, practicing, you know, these moves and stuff.
Yeah.
All this straight line boxing, and it is boxing, isn't it?
Wing Chun, Tai Chi, self-defense, street fight, things like that. Yeah. So yeah, about me, everybody see me on YouTube. Quite a lot of everybody. Quite a lot of people show me on YouTube, do many different things. So yeah, that's what I do. Do a little bit of stuff online.
How long have you been training for? Wong? How long?
Quite long now. 20 odd years.
20 odd years.
Mm.
So you was 5 when you started.
Not really now. I'm a bit old when I started, but yeah.
Okay, what made you get into it?
I think it's a lot of time like everybody else get bullied. People, you know, bullying you because I'm half and half Vietnamese, half Chinese, you know. So when it came to England, you get a lot of people bullying you and racist.
There's no racism in this country. What do you want about?
You know, man. You know what I mean? I got racists everywhere I walking nowadays. You might get that. Look at you and me, the same color, different color, of course. But I'm Zalo, you're black. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we all get this problem, don't we?
I don't actually get this problem. I don't understand, but I know what you're talking about, though. And what happened when you started to learn martial arts? Did you find that the racism decreased?
No, they're always the same. It's you change. Right. Yeah, you change to become a bit more confident because when you not been training, you've been somebody pick on you, you feel very unconfident. You know what I mean? Yeah. You feel weak. You feel not strong to facing the real person. Mm-hmm. But when you train your martial art and you got some form of understanding and discipline, then it's easier for you to face your enemy and look at their eye.
True.
Don't fuck with me.
Anyway, listen, moving on now. You see what I'm saying? He's getting on one already. Like,
scary, isn't it?
Looking like he's gonna fight me, and we just started. Long, tell me, he clearly does something. No one don't know what you do, but you seem to be everywhere. Talk to the people about what
people know what I do. They know Fighters Inc. They know we've been around a long while. And
when you say Fighters Inc., you're talking about that tattoo on your. Oh, you meant the company Fighters Inc. So I'm just saying it because he's got a tattoo. So he's a fighter. There's ink.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. The tattoo parlor. What am I? Who am I?
Promo guy. That's the way I see you.
I'm a promoter. We've been around a while. Our first event was in 1997. Both myself and
my. So you was 5 when you started as well.
I actually walked into a dojo when I was 7 years of age.
Oh, wow.
Into Tiki Donovan's dojo in Barking at 7 years of age. Done karate all my life. Represented, England and Britain. Fought internationally.
Wasted your time.
Wasted my time. Should have gone into something else and earned some money.
We all should have. We'll be here now.
And then we started promoting events in 1997. And it's developed from there. And we've been involved in a few big shows.
Fighters Inc.
Kind of.
All over the place, man. Just in case you haven't seen.
We joined the dots.
The branding. Yeah.
That's the magazine. That's
Does it come out monthly? This magazine?
It's a great magazine.
Does it come out every month?
That's a free magazine.
It's a quarterly, isn't it?
Yeah, quarterly. Combat and Strength.
Combat and Strength. We're everywhere,
Free
not just online. We go hard copy as well. How about that? And you'll notice on the front of this is Kimbo Slice, who was meant to fight at Bellator. I just want to say R.I.P. Kimbo, and I want to start on that note. There's R.I.P. Kimbo, because I was really looking forward to that, and when it didn't happen, it kind of touched me, and obviously the guy died, and in horrible circumstances. But I hear his son's going to be fighting. Is that right?
Yeah, his son's looking to compete in Bellator.
That's fantastic.
I think Bellator are looking to come back to the UK. I'm sure we'll get Scott Coker on in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, most definitely.
Have to do that because it was a great show at the O2.
And that's a man who's done a lot of stuff.
Scott Coker.
He's done a lot of stuff.
He's a captain, mate.
He's a nice pioneer, bro. He was doing stuff when no one was doing stuff.
We get him on soon, I think. We got some big names coming in.
Yeah.
Some big names.
We got a big name. We got a big name this week.
Who we got?
Well, I'm not going to let them know yet. I'm going to tell them in a minute. Let me tell you now. Let me
drag them along.
Let me tell them now. Now we've got. This week's show. We've got Audi Attar. Let me just say that again. Audi Attar. Is that how pronounce it wrong?
Was it a car?
It sounds like it.
No, Audi.
Well, there you go. Audi. Total disrespect to pronounce his name wrong. Audi, don't punch me in my mouth the way I'm going to punch Wong, because we can't all be hitting each other like that. But Audi Attar, for those who don't know,
not professional, man.
Is the
Can't each other in the mouth like that, you know.
Audi Attar is the man behind Conor McGregor, the star behind the star. He's also an agent who looks after a numerous amount of other fighters and sports-specific athletes.
Yeah,
he's very successful.
Done
a lot of stuff in his career. But Conor's
trying to get there with his company.
What's that?
Peridigum.
Is that what
management?
See, I didn't see. I see it as paradigm.
No,
it's Peridigum.
Peridigum. You got that one in?
Man, that's out of me, man.
Let's see this one.
That's a bit much. Why can't they make the name more easier for people to understand? I mean,
let's just have it once. Peridigum.
Peridigum. What?
One more time?
Peridigum. No?
That's not it, Joe. Don't him out, Joe, man.
Peridigum.
Gonna be here all day. Listen, you know the company. You can Google it. His name's Audi. I'm gonna do this a lot. I can see I'm gonna do this a lot in it. And the thing is, I'm normally good with names. I don't even know what's going on today. Let's move on.
Audi Attar.
Audi Attar. For those who don't know, he is the man behind the man.
Right.
Conor McGregor, arguably the biggest MMA star in the world. Arguably, or he's the biggest MMA star in the world?
He is the biggest MMA star.
He's one of the biggest stars right now. Yeah.
Bigger than Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger than Brock Lesnar.
I think, for me, with having Audi on as the first guest, I don't know about you or you, Wong, but a lot of people who are not into martial arts or the combat sector or anything like that.
They don't know.
They know Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think of this Conor McGregor? You know, you see people who are not into the sport at all mentioning Conor McGregor left, right, and centre.
I agree.
If there's anyone on this earth who knows about Conor McGregor, that's the man to ask.
Well, we're going to ask him, and that's a little bit later on in the podcast. We've already secured interviews with the likes of Eddie Hearn, Pali Malignaggi. There you go. I pronounced that wrong as well before we got on air. And Johnny Nelson. They're all talking about the fight between Kell Brook and GGG Gennady Golovkin, the guy who a lot of people have down as pound for pound best fighter in the world.
100%. Yeah.
Definitely one of the most hardest hitting. So that's going to be a great fight. Obviously, we all know when that takes place. So it's going to be interesting to hear the views of Eddie Hearn, Paulie Malignaggi, Johnny Nelson, who is also a fellow Sheffield man. And let me slip this one out in it. He's backing him. I mean, for all those who are trying to think about where to throw the smart money, don't listen to Johnny. But anyway, moving on. We're going to have 5 fit tips every week on this show. We're going to have 5 fit tips from various different personal trainers and people from the world of health and fitness and well-being who have different ways of approaching looking after their temple. So we're going to have 5 fitness tips. This week's with Claire Baycroft, lovely young lady. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Claire?
Claire, she's from Fight Club. They're the guys which, if you've been to the Combat and Strength show,
I did,
or you've been to Semi show, which you both have, and a lot of people out there have, you would have seen, and if you haven't seen them, you would have heard them, because they're the guys what you see on stage with 100-odd punch bags out with 4 to 5 people on each punch bag.
I know Fight Club do it big, so
Fight Club do it very, very big, and she's the lady what makes that happen, along with Troy. And she's got 5 fit tips for us this week.
Can't wait to get involved in that fit tips. I need it personally. I'm going to listen. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to listen. And lastly, Maxi Muscle
competition.
This big competition. £250,000. You know, let me get that again. £250 worth of Maximuscle product to give away later on in the show. So make sure you stay right to the end for that, because it's a really simple question that Wong has come up with in order to give you guys every opportunity to land the product and win. And I think, you know, if we don't get 1 million people applying for this competition, we've found
a million.
Yeah, 1 million.
How many subscribers have you got on YouTube?
Nearly 500,000.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's doing all right.
Not really a lot, is it?
Doing all right.
Not really.
I think when we start, we didn't done it very well. If we done better, well, little bit, then we probably got 1 million by now.
Well, it's taking a bit. You got half a million subscribers.
Yeah, but it's not a lot, is it? 500,000, really, if you think about it.
No, of course it's not.
Just greedy, isn't they, some people? Jesus Christ.
Not many people love me, that's why. There's too many fuckers out there hate me.
I think you're alright, Wong.
That's what they didn't surprise to me, you see?
I think they kind of like you, because you know, last time I looked, there was 90 million views on your channel. So that's a lot of views.
98 million views.
That's like 89 million views on my channel. I don't know about yours. That's what I mean. But you know, that's what we're going to be bringing on the Combat and Strength podcast each week. Hard-hitting stories, hard-hitting interviews, topics to, you know, I think most people are discussing, to be honest with you. You know, I might throw a few curveballs in there just to test these guys and see where their knowledge is at, because, you know, obviously I'm the journalist, I'm the guy that holds this all together.
Of course.
I'll do it.
And we're going to have a bit of fun. Yeah. This ain't just straight up serious, is it?
It's going to be fun. You're going to love it.
It's not. He's not going to love me when I punch him in his face, because that, you know what I mean, he's going to feel my power. Yeah, which I hope to increase by the end, because he's going to teach me how to punch correctly.
I will teach you how to punch.
Because obviously I don't punch.
So you can hit me right, so you can have a nice plastic surgery done properly, you know what I mean? So when you hit him properly.
Apparently he's had plastic surgery already. He didn't look good, this good, because he drinks water and eats organic meat and all that. Eat organic meat, anyone?
Yeah, eat organic stuff.
And doesn't have a microwave.
No microwave.
Imagine, man ain't got a microwave. He was telling Rob earlier, the guy who put all of this technical stuff together, not to microwave his dinner.
You microwave stuff, you microwave yourself, you eat dead food. I mean, if you want to be alive, why you eat dead food? I mean, come on, man.
Combat and strength, eat microwave food. You might be able to involve yourself in combat, but there will be no strength. That's basically what he's trying to say.
You eat dead food, you're dead.
Right. Well, listen, we could talk forever, but we really want the substance to do the talking. So let's cut to this interview with Mr. Audi Attar, the man behind the man who I really respect. You know, I've never had an opportunity to interview him before, so this is going to be a real intriguing conversation where I'm going to try and draw some pearls of wisdom, some nuggets of information to help us understand the making of the global phenomenon that is Conor McGregor. That is, he's not just Conor that he looks after. We've also got a British, our first UFC champion in Michael Bisping, who's also on all these books as well. So there's a lot to talk about where this man is concerned. And before we cut to the Audi Attar interview, I just want to take you back a little bit. Just watch this clip, and if you're listening on iTunes, listen to this.
You know Jerry Maguire, do you? Fuck Jerry Maguire, yeah? This is the real Jerry Maguire.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. This is one thing I was actually concerned about with you, right? When you get thrown into this line, everybody's your friend. Nobody wants to tell you the truth. Sometimes that gets you an inflated view of yourself and an unrealistic view of reality. When that's gone, athletes, it's a sad thing. It's a real sad thing. They'll turn on you like this. It's a "what have you done for me lately" business.
People definitely get comfortable, but one thing I do good is not get comfortable.
Good.
I have a nation behind me, you know what I mean? I know like Dana and all the guys, like going for this meal with Dana. Who the fuck comes? What fighter comes to Vegas after having one fight in a prelim and gets to go for a meal with the boss man? You know what I mean? But that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I know it's not. It's business at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Combat and Strength podcast, episode 1. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show. Such a obviously a well-established agent, sports agent in the game, and I really want to go straight in for those who don't know. You know, how did you come to represent Conor McGregor?
Well, I appreciate you gentlemen having me on the show. Congratulations. It sounds like this is going to be a very successful podcast and with some unique perspective and personality. So congratulations to you gentlemen.
Thanks very much, sir.
I actually signed Conor at the beginning of his UFC career. We were put in contact right when he had signed with UFC by a mutual acquaintance, and this person knew that I was, an agent in the business, and they knew that I represented some of the more high-profile athletes in the sport, and they just kind of brought to my attention, hey, you should check out this kid, Conor McGregor, just signed with UFC. He's kind of one of the top guys coming out of Europe. We had some names out of Europe that we represented, with the biggest being Michael Bisping. So, we had some familiarity with the market. So we ended up taking a look at him, and athletically, he jumped out at me. I saw that this kid was big for his division. He was in the 145. He was in the 145 division at the time, but he was a 2-division champion previously at 145, 155 in the European circuit. Had reach advantage and height advantage, but he moved smooth. His hands were just amazing in terms of the precision and the speed and his depth of perception. I mean, he was just on another level. So that was the first thing that attracted me to him, was his athletic ability. And I think a lot of people, even more so today than ever, they just don't really give him the credit he deserves as an athlete. And so that was the first introduction. And we were introduced, had a conversation with him, had a conversation with John Kavanaugh, and at the time they were interviewing other firms as well, and everybody was courting him as a young prospect, top prospect coming into the sport, or into the promotion, I should say. And we competed, and ultimately we were very fortunate. We won that competition, and we made it official right after the Brimage fight, and the rest is history.
Odie, what makes him the star draw he is already? Arguably one of the biggest names in the world.
I think it starts and ends with his athletic ability. I come from the American football world, and there's an old saying, that a lot of the athletes and coaches and people around the sport know. It's a saying that I think is also applicable in this sport, but the eye in the sky don't lie, right? The film that you turn on Conor McGregor is undeniably some of the best performances that you'll see in the sport, and I think that it starts and ends with that. I think that the qualitative stuff, his personality, his charisma, when you turn on the camera, he just speaks his mind. He tells it how exactly how he's thinking about it, and that comes across to resonate with a lot of people that just want to be real, just want to the no fluff, no BS. And then it rubs other people the wrong way, and that's their right as well. And that's the beauty of the world. You could, for those of us that are listening to this podcast, we're very fortunate to be able to choose what we want to think and choose what we want to pursue with regards to our goals, our passions, etc. So, I think that resonates well and doesn't sit well with others. That's another thing that's caught on. I think he's approached it a lot differently. The guy was. A lot of people were wearing a shirt that had 20 sponsors on them, looking like a NASCAR, race car. He showed up with a finely fitted suit, and he just looked smooth. And then I think that he's a very intelligent young man, and that shows with his the tongue, if you will, right? He has as we would say here in a very slang way, that he has a mouthpiece, and that's not taken too well in other parts of the country, but here it is, and all that really means is the guy has a gift for gab, right? He can speak, but it's not just that he can speak, it's that how fast his brain moves, and you can see that in his responses and how he's always on his toes, and it just comes natural. It's not staged, it's not something that he rehearses. That's the raw and uncut real right there.
Odie, you're a frustrated sportsman. I call everybody that isn't actually a sportsman that works close to sport. Don't take it personally. I know that you've got a background in sport. What was, what's your history in connection to sport? Because I know you've got NFL players in your books as well, right? So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, I think, like a lot of young men that I run around with, at least. I grew up in martial arts. I grew up in soccer. I grew up playing baseball, and then really American football, I didn't really start playing until high school, and in this country, and I know it's different in the UK and in other parts of Europe, but in this country, high school sports are very competitive, and they're a feeder program to the college system, which in turn becomes, to some extent, semi-pro. And so I took on American football in high school, and my father actually at the time didn't want me to play, so he gave me an ultimatum to quit soccer and, or as you call it, the real football, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad you know.
and well, we all speak a different tongue. That's why things speak differently in all parts of the world.
Of
and
course.
I'm cognizant of that, and I'm conscious of that. So, but I took up American football, and I loved it. I loved the controlled violence, the demand from an athletic standpoint, a movement standpoint. It's a wide field. It's a mix of your football, along with rugby, along with MMA. It's a mix of everything. And then, the allure of having the pads on, feeling like you're in your own armored tank. What was very intriguing to me. I loved it. I became a high school All-American. I went on to play Division I at UCLA. I didn't continue past the college level, but I've been very fortunate to be able to stay around athletics and sports, and I always wanted to do that, whether it was coaching or I didn't know really at a young age other than I just wanted to compete, and when that time came for me to decide on my post-athletic identity, I loved business. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but I loved marketing. I love negotiations. I love coaching, life coaching, career managing. And I think that you wear all those hats at some point or another while you're doing the job you do, because you're entrusted with people's careers, and it ends up being people's livelihoods. I think every athlete grows up just doing it for a love, and at this level, this is their life. This is their family life, and so you gotta be conscious of that fact and always honor that trust bestowed upon you.
When I was doing my research, I saw an article that you said you had to put data together to educate brands, negotiate deals, and protect your clients. Tell me about that situation in 2016 as it affects, your marketplace, your business, your industry.
I think there's a lot of parallels in other sports. As I think you alluded to earlier, we have athletes in football, MMA, basketball, and soccer, as well as a new business unit for us. So we represent athletes in multiple sports, and there's a lot of parallels in terms of what you have to do, whether it's when you're negotiating on behalf of the athlete, and each industry has its own set of normal business practices or even rules and regulations if there's unions involved. So, there's always an element of education on both sides. You're learning, and then you're also putting forth facts and data that help substantiate your position, but also serve as an educational tool in the event that the person that you're speaking to doesn't know what the heck you're talking about. So I think you find a lot of that in all sports. I think MMA obviously has been something that has required more of that, just because it's not an established, as we say, stick and ball sport that's been around for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. And even those industries are very inefficient in certain ways, right? I see that a lot even in your soccer market.
Of course.
For as long as it's been around, it's definitely not as developed, let's say, as the NFL or Major League Baseball or even the NBA. So there's always an element of that, and that's kind of, I think, what, if I had to put that quote that you just referenced into context, that's really what that means.
I mean, much is made of the fact that Conor is a phenomenon, not just inside the octagon, but in terms of the numbers that he's able to accrue or manage to accrue in such a short space of time. Tell me about some of those stats and how they've blown other figures out of the water, and how they kind of add to the star quality of the man.
I think there's always a saying in everything, and we all know it: numbers never lie.
That's right.
So I think the more and more more and more data that we have, I think to my previous point, it makes that effort a lot easier, right? Because you're dealing with data that has more mind share than to someone that may not know what the heck the sport's even all about. So I think that's the first thing. I think, he's a very ambitious young man, athletically, from a business standpoint, even just from a self-growth standpoint. I think that type of mindset is exactly what I subscribe to, and that's the type of culture that we have as a company as well. So I think that's why we've always attracted a certain type of athlete. I think that we resonate with one another, and we see eye to eye, and our interests are always aligned. So that's important, because I think whether it's an individual sport like MMA or even a team sport, your team has to be in sync with you. There has to be harmony. You all have to be looking at the same goal. If not, then there's going to be definitely glitches in the system. So I think for him, while he may be happy, and don't get me wrong, we celebrate a good win, but then it's back to work. It's always about trying to beat that last thing, because I think if you're a true competitor, you're never satisfied, you're never complacent, because once you get complacent, the future you is right behind you, and all of us are not ignorant to that fact that this world is going to go on long after us, and it's existed long before us. So I think you have to have that mindset, and that will allow you to reach your true potential wherever that may be, but you can't be looking for that finish line, And so I think that type of mindset that I know Connor has, that we have, will constantly allow us to use the data and use those records, in an effort to continuously evolve in every which way.
Would you say that Connor's stock took a hit when he lost the first fight to Diaz? I mean, no doubt selling an unbeaten record is far more lucrative.
I can tell you that the data, the numbers suggest otherwise.
Right.
His brand grew, his social media audience grew, and I think it's due to him. It's not due to any type of, crazy trick that anybody did. I've loved how people in the past have even accused him of buying followers and all these different, jealous statements that people make, which is, it's their right, but they're haters. They need to check themselves and take a look at the mirror, really. And,
so how important was it? How important was it?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. I guess I want to know how important it was for him to win the follow-up fight against Diaz.
I think the loss was good. I think if you look at how he handled the loss, how humble he was, how he never made any excuses, you know what I mean? How he just took it and that's it. He wanted his rematch. Is a stark difference to how Diaz is handling it now, and how his camp are handling everything now. So and I'll leave that at that. And everybody wants to be so critical, of it. But the reality is, they're still not talking about the things that he did do, the differences that did exist, the fact that he never was knocked out, the fact that at the end of the day, even if you wanted to give Diaz a third, the fourth, he came out and controlled his heart rate. Diaz is the one that blew his load to some extent. So there's a 25-pound weight difference. There's a size and reach difference. I mean, there was, at the end of the day, nobody's giving Conor the same level of credit they should, but his star is still rising. Because, again, the way he's handling himself, I think, is indicative of what people want to see, and that's resonating well with the masses.
Your own success, RD, in recent years, and the success of the sport in general paints a positive picture for MMA. I mean, where do you see the room for growth over the next few years?
I think when you look at the sport, a lot of people that didn't understand what the sport was really now see that these are young men and women that are disciplined, that have respect for life, respect for community, respect for humanity, and they embody the essence of martial arts. I think when you strip it down again, to what it really is, that's what it is. It's the highest level of professional athletics, and this is a sport that has existed for thousands of years. It's now more organized, it's now branded, but this is the purest form of combat sport, and so I feel that resonates through all, throughout the world, right? Is everybody gonna like it? No, and that's okay. I think that's why there's the freedom of choice to choose whether you like sport or you don't like sport, or what sport you like, or what type of music you like, or what type of entertainment that you actually gravitate to. And so I feel that there's so much room for growth for the sport, because at the end of the day, for the people that do like contact sports, whatever they may be, it's very appealing when you look at what these athletes can do from a spectator standpoint, the way they move, what they have to do to train, how they have to keep themselves in shape, what they do to take care of their body, the discipline that they have. And I think that that's why it's something that it's very intriguing. And I grew up a boxing fan, so I still got love for the sport, but it's not the same watching a boxing match anymore. Once you've seen an MMA fight, you see what type of athleticism and the discipline and really the twists and turns and unpredictability of the sport. You can't go back to watching someone just pound someone's head and body. Just like it's old, right? Because that, hey, that guy could have been taken down in that position right there, or had he left himself vulnerable. So, that was a leg lock or whatever it may be. I think. We were having a conversation, actually, interestingly enough. It was with Connor the other night and Jimmy Iovine. We were at his office, and this is a legend showing us old NWA clips, like Dr. Dre stuff, showing us projects that they got coming out with.
Yeah, that was a moment.
It was amazing. But here we are talking about the evolution of MMA and talking about the Muhammad Ali Inoki fight and what would have happened if he had, Inoki got him in the leg lock or mounted him and just ground and pounded him at the end of the day. What would have happened? At that point, really nobody knew what the heck was going on. They thought it was a spectacle. But I think it was great that it didn't happen. I think it was a consensus feeling that it was great for boxing and combat sports that it didn't happen. Muhammad Ali was needed for that generation and for history, really. But that now you see that, you put a boxer in an MMA fight, he's a fish out of water. You put an MMA fighter in a boxing ring, he may be fish out of water as well. But the point of being is unarmed combat, you can't compare it. At the end of the day, when there's no rules, there's no restrictions, it's going to be a different outcome, right? So you have to appreciate that from an athletic standpoint.
Is Conor your biggest name on your books? And, how does dealing with him compared to, I don't know, dealing with Michael Bisping, who I know is another one of your clients, both from Europe, both significant in the world of mixed martial arts, but very different people?
I think Conor's the biggest name in the world right now.
I agree with you, right? I want to hear you say it.
And we're very honored to represent some of the biggest names in each sport. And so I think that answers hopefully your question there. But in terms of how it is to deal with him, look, he's a passionate, driven, focused. We both understand what our goals are and where we've come from, and where we want to go. And so I think that that's always important. That's why I've been very fortunate to, be honored to have clients like Conor throughout their careers, or throughout, and that's important to me. So I think in terms of any relationship, you're going to go through your twists and turns and your ups and downs, and you're going to have your challenges. But, the authentic relationships that always have good communication will last. At the end of the day, if you don't, then they won't, right? And I think it takes two to tango, and that's the reality of any relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that when you want to compare, like, my relationship with him or any of my other clients or my relationship with Michael, same thing. It's every relationship is different. Every relationship has their challenges, and at times, like, you could be in the brightest of moments and in the darkest of times, and with serious challenges. But ultimately, you're still dealing with human beings. You're still dealing with people's livelihoods. So I don't take that lightly. It's not just this isn't a fantasy football team for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I take great pride in what I do, and that's why there is definitely an emotional investment. Well, it's business. At the end of the day, you can't remove the human element of it, and that will allow you, I feel, to do a better job when you are just real.
Can Conor earn Mayweather money, or has he got to fight Mayweather for that check to get written?
I think where the sport's headed. There's no question that athletes are going to continue to make more money, and we're very cognizant of the fact that we're very fortunate to have someone that's leading the way in doing that. So I think that as this sport grows, as the pie grows, it's only logical that the fighters' earnings are going to grow, right? I think that in terms of having Floyd money, you know, it's definitely a goal. That's for sure. There's no question about it. You know.
Okay.
I think there's also other elements that you have to take a look at in terms of the market and where you are in terms of your career, etc. So I think it's definitely something that fighters think about, you know, and I think that they definitely strive to get to that same point and same level. And I think it's one of those things where it takes some time, right?
Everything takes time to build. I mean, if we ever saw that fight happen, would it most likely happen in America, or is there a possibility it could happen over here? We know what Mayweather's like.
You know, I really don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, like Floyd was posting a lot of stuff publicly on social media, and obviously kind of had fun with it, poking back. But at the end of the day, you know, as far as we understand, Floyd's retired. Now, I don't know if he's just gassing people up, but you know, he knows where to find us. So at the end of the day, if he's serious, Conor doesn't care where it is, you know. At the end of the day, he just has to let it be known that he's either serious or he's just trying to gas people up.
Michael's got a big fight coming up. I mean, where do you see that? I mean, how do you see that panning out?
Revenge is the sweetest success. I think that's where I see where it's turned up. I think that, you know, for all these years, it's really been something that the UFC has constantly reminded everybody about, including Michael, with that highlight constantly being played in their, you know, opening production at live events all over the world. Yeah. I think that, you know, Dan Henderson is now reminding everybody every day by trying to include a silhouette of that as part of his logo.
Fair enough.
You know, I think that you have two legends in the sport. You can't deny that both those guys are legends. I think that they had their moments on television. I think that, you know, at the end of the day, the best thing about it is they get to step into the octagon and punch each other in the face. So success is the sweetest revenge. And October 8th, you're about to see something different. And I know Mike's not coming back to Manchester lightly, and he's very proud and honored to be able to defend his world title at home in front of his UK brethren. And so I think that it's going to be fun to see, man.
Just to wrap this up, Audi, Michael's story, I mean, like you said, he was the victim of what is an iconic moment in UFC history. But he stayed the course, and, you know, it turned full circle for him. Here he is now, champion, defending it, you know, in his own backyard after a long, long time. Is he a poster boy for, you know, staying the course, sticking to your vision, your goals, your dreams?
I absolutely believe that. He's almost like I know this sounds cliche, but British Rocky to some extent. You know, the story that he's had to really kind of overcome things and stay the course. This is a 10-year UFC fighter, not a 10-year MMA fighter, 10-year UFC fighter. He's been fighting at the top of the division for years. You know, the best of the best in the sport. So he's made his job look a lot easier than it is. You know, and at the end of the day, like all fighters that make that walk, I mean, they sacrifice a lot in the sport for their family. You know, it starts with the passion. It starts with him growing up as a kid, going around the circuits and baggy karate pants, you know, but ultimately now it's a livelihood. So for me, to see someone that's sacrificed so much for their family, doing something that they love and they're passionate about, and to see that the roller coaster ride they've had to endure ups and downs, you know, for me to look at his career, it's actually been mostly ups. When you strip away people he's had to face that have cheated against him, you know, you strip all that stuff away. You strip away some of the controversial things that just, you know, always end up branding an athlete because those are isolated moments. You see someone that's really endured some trials and tribulations, but has always overcome, you know. And so I think that I'm proud of him for that. You know, he was ready to fight anybody. I think, you know, Dana had this in his mind Michael's not going to say no, you know, at the end of the day. And success is a Swedish revenge. I think his number one thing was to want to defend his belt in Manchester. It was exactly what he kept on saying. And so to be able to do that and avenge a loss, I think for him it'll be a dream come true.
I hope the dream continues.
Hi audience, Joe. We was talking earlier on about the time being in being late at night or early morning in Manchester. Tickets are on sale in the next few days, or this weekend. What's your views on it being in the middle of the night in the UK to hit that American audience?
I'm scared for any non-Brit in attendance because the bars and the clubs are going to be probably drank dry heading into the arena. So it's going to be quite electric if I'm to forecast this accurately on a Saturday night. So it's going to be fun. I feel it's going to be electric. I hope there's not going to be beers thrown everywhere by drunken fans, but it's going to be fun. I feel like the energy is going to be high. I feel that it's going to be a night out, and people are going to end it at the arena to watch middleweight world champion Michael Bisping defend his belt against Dan Henderson. So for the U.S. audience, I think it's still a pay-per-view. I think that they're trying to capitalize on that. I know that there's an NFL game from London, broadcast from London the week before. Actually, one of our NFL clients will be in that game. So I'll be at that game the week before, then taking a train over to excuse me, guys, sorry.
No worries.
Taking a train over to Manchester. So I think that it's an interesting thing, but for this to only be the second time in the arena history for it to ever be done, first one Ricky Hatton did it. I think it's an honor for Mike. That's him, as a global MMA star. I think he is able to give his hometown and home country a live event, and B, still give the U.S. fan base the pay-per-view.
And lastly, Audie, I know, over this side of the pond, what the vibe is on the fight for Michael, and what's the take on it in the States? What is the vibe about the fight and the outcome of the fight in general, without any bias from your side, of course? What's the general
I think when you look at it, it's split down fan bases. Without any unbiased look at it, it's split down fan bases. I think Dan Henderson was a former Olympic wrestler, represented the U.S. and he's obviously someone that's been in the sport of MMA for a long time. So he has his loyal fan base that feels that it's going to go the same way it went last time, and obviously you have a Michael's fan base that feels it's going to go the other side. And I feel like the MMA expert feel they're giving it to Michael. I think because of his ability when compared to Dan. So I think when you look at it as an analyst, you say, okay, on paper, everything is in Bisping's favor. At the end of the day, there's all the human element to this stuff. So, it's about fight night ultimately and seeing kind of who executes their plan and who makes the least mistakes. It's not only executing your own plan, but it's also making sure that you're not caught in a very vulnerable situation. I think as was the case last time. It wasn't that Mike was, outclassed athletically, but he got caught with the H-bomb. And that's what happened. So I think that when you look at it from an unbiased standpoint, Mike's the more athletic fighter. I think he's quicker, he's faster. I think his boxing is more superior. I think when you look at all these different elements, and then I think the fact that Mike's takedown defense and I think when you look at age difference and that plays a role because we're all mortal, particularly now with the new USADA, drug testing policies that have been implemented by the UFC. I think that will level the playing field as well. So come fight night, I think when you look at it purely from a analysis standpoint, you have to give the edge to Michael. But anything happens on any given night, and Michael's going into that not being foolish and understanding that as he's done the last few fights. I mean, he's beaten, he knocked out Luke Rockhold in the first round. He beat Anderson Silva, which could arguably go down as one of the greatest fights in UFC history in London. which I know some of you gentlemen were there, and so I think that if he fights the fight the way he's fought the last few fights, he's gonna be the victor that night.
And we'll all be there in Manchester, Aldi, and we're all rooting for Michael.
We definitely will. And listen, Aldi, I wanna thank you for your time. And there's no doubt that you're gonna probably come on this podcast again. We'll try and catch up with you the week before that fight in Manchester. But until then, good luck with everything, and we really appreciate you being on it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck. Appreciate the time.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
The big fight I think this is the biggest fight of 2016 that no one ever knew was going to happen. Would that be right? Would that be fair to some that no one ever knew that?
And the fight,
Special K Brook.
The fight was going to happen, but it was going to happen with someone else.
It should have happened with someone else, didn't it?
Should it? It was supposed to, wasn't it?
No, I don't know. Eddie.
I wonder.
That other person would be Chris Eubank.
I wonder what Chris Eubank Jr. is doing this weekend.
I've been watching Chris Eubank Jr. smashing bags, smashing sparring
is he supposed
opponents.
to be fighting?
He had the opportunity to, didn't he?
Oh, right.
And allegedly they negotiated themselves out of the fight from a Gennady Golovkin point of view.
Oh, right.
And so Eddie Hearn, being a shrewd promoter that he is, said, I've got someone else you might want to take it, and I've been spoken to Kell. Yeah. Kell took a couple of days to deliberate over the idea and decided that he was up for it, which to me is a no-brainer. You know
what I'm really excited about is what happens after this. Within the next year. Whoever wins, who's Eubank going to be fighting?
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
That's what's really exciting. I think that next fight is going to be bigger than this one.
I don't know. It's funny because talking to Eddie Hearn, even he said that, because I asked him if this was the second biggest show.
Are you dropping names in there?
You
asked him?
I frequent with these people, what can I say?
Okay.
Eddie Hearn, matchroom promoter.
So Eddie's on our show this week?
He's on our show this week, mate.
Who else is on the show?
Well, we've got Pilot Magic Nagi.
I can't even say it. The Magic Man.
Yeah, is he?
The Magic Man.
Is that what you call him? I don't know, man. Every time I interview the guy, he's yawning.
He might think you're boring.
He might.
He's yawning.
He might. I don't know, I don't know. I pulled him up on it as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I have to, man. Because it's the second time he's done it. I'm starting the interview and the guy's yawning, like big yawning. Paul, if you're watching, sorry, bruv. We're pulling you out. We're going to put the whole interview out on YouTube anyway. Don't do it again.
He's from New York. They're a bit rude in New York, aren't they?
We're a bit rude over here. Man, I know where you are, innit? Man, know you, and I know Master Wong, innit? Oh. But no, it's interesting to get Paulie's view, actually. He broke down the fight probably better than anybody.
His knowledge is impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. And that's what I wanted, I like interviewing him because he brings that ringside demeanour to every interview.
Yes.
So it'd be interesting for our podcast viewers, listeners to hear what he had to say. We've also got Johnny Nelson, Sky's Johnny Nelson, former boxer, Sheffield man, obviously rooting for Kell.
Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly.
From the same gym?
Yeah, they're all from that gym, aren't they? Rightly.
Prince Nassim?
Yeah.
Kid Galahad?
They're all
on the other card as well?
Yeah.
That's the same gym as what Prince Nassim trained in.
Oh, right.
Who else was another champion from at that gym as well? The guy that should have fought Ricky Hatton but never.
Junior Witter,
the hitter, great fighter, switch hitter. He was a switch hitter like I don't think I've ever seen. Who's been a better switch hitter than him?
The man before him, Errol Graham. Boom.
True stories.
How'd you like that one?
True stories, man.
How'd you like that?
Knowledge is power. You know what you're talking about, Joe.
What do you think of that one, Wongy?
Which one is that?
He didn't know. He doesn't know. Do you know who the Bomber Graham is?
He's lost it, isn't it? You know what? Well, I think in the coming weeks, it's going to be like having the old granddad with you in the back of the car. The music's on and they can't hear you properly.
Who's that?
Who's that, Wongy? I don't know.
Who's that?
That's the problem, isn't it?
It is the
that's
problem.
The problem, isn't it? Because I don't follow these people, so it's difficult for me to know which one is it. It's me the boxer, isn't it?
But that's what this podcast is about. We're hitting everyone, right?
Yeah. That's right.
So we're hitting the people who know, the people what don't know, and we're hitting the message.
That's right. Because I'm a normal people. I don't know most of them, mainly boxer.
Because a normal person has 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
It's a bit normal, isn't it? So
90 million views.
Of course they are.
Who wins that fight, Joe?
This weekend, I'm going for GGG.
Oh yeah.
I would love to
Smart money.
I would love to see Kell Brook win. I'd love to see him win, but I don't think he's going to do it. But I would love.
Close but no cigar, or he's going to get walked over.
Walked over.
You know, we was down at the public workout the other day, and you know, Kell looks good. He looks comfortable. He looks like he's happier at the weight. He's already said he's not going to fight back at 147 welterweight. He said he's done with that now, which means he's going to relinquish his title, the title that no one wanted to fight him for. And Keith Turman, if you're watching, you should have fought him. You know what I'm saying? Porter fought him. You should have fought him as well, because you got a belt and fought Porter. That's run over. But watching them on the pads this week, it was like Golovkin's having a laugh. And it was 15 deep, you know, in Covent Garden. Yeah. Credit to Matchroom for putting on that show, you know, when the weather didn't look great. But you could hear him hitting the pads like, you know, it's a fud.
And it looks effortless, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, mate. He was smiling. He wasn't even trying, you know. I know you know all about timing and the punch and, you know, drawing the punch from downstairs. He was doing it without even trying. And I was watching it, I was thinking, Kell, I'm not sure. I want him to do it.
He didn't perform.
We all want him to win, right? You want him to win?
He didn't perform?
No, I'm talking, Golovkin was hitting the pads just in practice. Right. And it's so you can hear the meat.
The popper.
Yes.
Right.
The pop. You can hear the pop. You can hear the
bone breaking.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like every movement is going to be like breaking each bone.
If he lands, yes. I mean, Kell, I'm not sure if
he's landed in every other fight, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. I don't know if Kell's ever felt them kind of blows before.
Well, GGG has said that he wants a street fight.
Really?
That's where you come in.
In a street fight?
Yeah, what do you think?
Man, in a street fight, different, innit? Boxing is different, innit? When you're in the street fight side, a lot of boxers, like Mike Tyson mentioned before, when you punch somebody in the street, like you do a lot of, you know, in the time when in America, a lot of, when you go out drinking, people talking shit to him and smacks him around the face, breaking a lot of fists in him. So boxer, fist, they're rapping a lot when they're punching, but in a street fight, different. If you leave the face out, and let them punch you in the face, then you definitely have the problem. You definitely need a good plastic surgery guy to fix it, because you're not going to have a nice, pretty face no more.
No.
I don't think the mama going to remember your face.
Possibly.
Best thing to do, best thing to do is you need to cover your face. You're scared and put your hand up and couple the hand with the elbow. Yeah. So hopefully you get attacking the elbow instead of your face. If you like that, your face. So
you're saying if somebody comes to punch in your face in the street,
turn your hand,
and you don't think you can have them.
Yeah,
so turn your head and you.
Yes, put your elbow there to cover, and put your hand cover your face, so you don't want to get your face being decorated. You know.
I think
this is how you're making money.
No,
not really. Put their elbows over their face.
Yeah, but if you love your face that much and you don't want people to decorate your face, and you know, do you like your wife to mention them, recognize you when you go home, or you want to say, "Who the fuck are you, man?"
She definitely wouldn't say that to me.
Yeah, but if
my face got punched in, I get you. My face is not getting punched in. Touch wood.
One is a big punch coming in. They're going to think he's going to decorate your face proper.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in the ring with Golovkin because he made the pads sing.
But this is a scary thing about boxing. People thinking that boxing is not hard stuff. They are conditioned. They're tough. They're mean. When you hit somebody land one rib cage body, you know you're gonna feel. You're gonna have a painful. You're gonna have a problem.
That's right. Yeah.
You're gonna have a problem.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, my money is the smart money. Is on GGG. So much so I'm not gonna put any money in it. But I'll stick a tenner on Kell, because I probably would have drank that tenner anyway.
Can you bet?
I'm allowed to. Yeah, I'm allowed to. Yeah.
You're allowed to bet?
Yeah, I'm allowed to bet. I'm allowed to have a sneak.
Is that in your religion? Is that in the
I don't know if it's in the religion. There's nowhere that says I can't have a gamble.
Do you eat bacon as well?
I don't eat bacon, no. You know I don't eat bacon. I leave it all out. Don't eat no meat. Don't have bacon.
Apparently they do a nice bacon roll in the casino.
I'll have the roll, but without the bacon.
The roll without bacon.
I'll have the roll without.
You smell the meat inside the vegetable.
No, I say without it. So don't put it in there. If they put it in there, then I'll just give it away. I'll probably give it to Joe.
Rob, our producer, said that he quoted a fashion dread.
I am a fashion dread.
He said that you eat bacon.
No, he didn't say that, Joe, because he knows much better than that. But I don't mind being a fashion dread. High fashion dread. You see what I'm saying? Because this don't happen. It's not happen naturally.
As a son of a Rastafarian myself, I would never ever call our host a fashion dread.
Because he knows.
Not to you anyway, so you can go and tell him and leave it. I bet someone else will go, no.
See, Rob had to put the record straight, let the record shout. This ain't no fashion dread.
It's a very serious podcast there, every week.
Yeah.
So what was Eddie saying then?
I mean, Eddie, we're about to see now, but he was doing what a lot of fight fans do in fight week, getting sucked into the hype. And I have to say
he was getting sucked into it, or he was creating.
But this is the thing. I have to say, getting sucked in because this fight's sold, isn't it?
He believes in his man 110%.
I don't know about the 10, maybe 100. You know, but he's the fight's sold. It's got global interest. They're gonna do good pay-per-view numbers. He hasn't got to do anything. So I think it was a genuine. I mean, well, let the viewers see for their own sake. Let's cut to it.
Well, Ed, in terms of shows, second best one you've ever put on?
Main event-wise, I think I have to say the best. You know, I mean, look, Froch Groves 2 was a huge event, but on an international scale, this fight is, and I'm shitting myself. You know, because by every time I sit down with Kell Brook, I just become that more and more confident. You know, he's a bit of a crazy guy. Do you know what I mean? And
Spencer said that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a great fighter, by the way. So that encourages me as well. But he's not like, he's excited. You know, like, you'd think you'd be thinking, fucking hell, like...
A bit too deep here, it's happening.
I got home from work and I had a bit of dinner. I'm sitting on the sofa. I turned on the TV and it was Gennady Golovkin, KO King on Sky. And after about 10 minutes, I felt sick, you know. And I text Kell and I said, what are you up to? He said, just at home watching TV. And I was like, don't put on Sky Sports 2. He was already watching it. And he's buzzing, you know. And I keep saying to people, don't worry about the weight in this fight. Yeah, like, it's definitely a small disadvantage for us. But this is going to come down to skill and ability. And I believe Kell Brook has that in abundance.
No surprises, really. Not surprising what you're saying there, to be honest with you. He's backing his man. It's interesting, though, because he knows that he's not going to fight at 147 again. So he's not going to fight. He's not going to defend the titles if he does beat GGG. What no one's asked, and what I didn't ask, which is quite remiss of me, to be honest with you, is there must be a rematch clause, right? Must be. Must be. So if Kell wins... they've got to do that again. They've got to do that dance again. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens. If the boy from Sheffield emerges victorious. And talking of the boy from Sheffield, he was also supported by Johnny Nelson, which of course is no surprise. Let's have a look at what Johnny had to say.
I'm a Sheffield boy. I've got to back my boy. It's hard to say Kell's going to tear this man, but I can't say that because it's a tough ask. Golovkin's an established, unbeaten pound for pound banger. Whereas Kell is an unbeaten welterweight champion, and so it's a big ask, but it's not an impossible ask. And that's the difference between what everybody's saying. A lot of people saying Kell's got no chance. He's got a chance, trust me. I've seen this boy in the gym, I've seen him work out, I've seen him hit, he's hitting hard, he's happy now he's not boxing at middleweight instead of welterweight.
What do you make of him saying he might not fight at welter again?
I believe that. I do believe, because even in the gym, we've always been surprised he could make welterweight. And to everybody, it's a big deal, him boxing at middleweight. And we're thinking, you mad? I'm surprised he can get down to that. So he's more of a middleweight than even he's a light middle. So for Kell, for him to box at middleweight suits him down to that.
Yeah, good old Johnny. You know, I love talking to him. It's better when Spencer Fearon is there. Them two go back and forth. There's a great banter. No Spencer this time, but Johnny gave some great insight there. And I guess, like I said before, no real surprises that he's backing his man. I think when it comes to breaking down the fight technically, though, Holy Malik, say it for me.
Mananaji.
Yes, him. That brother. Yeah, you say it as well.
Mananaji.
Not Naji.
No, not Mananaji.
Malik Naji.
Malik Naji.
Yeah, something like that. See, Paulie, we're not taking a piss, you understand? We're just like, your surname, anyway, Acapito?
The Magic Man.
He understands, he's
the Magic Man.
Yeah, he broke it down in its most technical detail. I think he was basically trying, so I'm not going to try and do it. You have a look at what he said. You know what I mean? And see if you agree.
Many of us were surprised and shocked when they signed this fight, but as it's gotten closer, obviously the excitement builds up. They are two very quality fighters, regardless of the difference in weight classes. The difference in weight classes does make it a bit risky. You know, at first I was even saying it's even a bit dangerous because Golovkin is such a big puncher and he's also the naturally bigger guy. But at the same time, you know, they're such quality fighters that eventually you start to think, wow, you know, quality versus quality, you know, how can this turn out? How can this play out? And, you know, you get excited to see how it's going to play out.
To win the title, Kell showed a level of mental fortitude, a toughness that I don't think I'd seen prior to that point. We all knew he was a good fighter. He was a tough fighter. He's unbeaten. But does that prove that he might have something in him to beat GGG? Because obviously the smart money's on, you know, GGG to win.
You know, showing the mental fortitude it puts you at that next level. You can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have that mental strength, you're only going to go so far. Kell showed that he's not only super talented, and you're right, he showed that mental strength to go into the jaws of the lion, so to speak. He went to California to beat Sean Porter in the U.S., you know, and Sean Porter is a capable welterweight in his own right. It's a different proposition here. He's going to have to be mentally strong nonetheless. Anytime you're in a tough fight, you're going to have to show all the skills and all the mental strength. I think Golovkin is a better fighter. I think Golovkin is a bigger fighter. I think Golovkin is a stronger fighter than Sean Porter. So, and he's a more calculated aggressiveness. You know, Sean Porter had an aggressiveness that was almost psychotic in some ways, and Kell was able to
unrelenting. Right?
Yeah, unrelenting. And Kell was able to, you know, smother him, clench at times, and use the force against him, so to speak. Golovkin is a guy who cuts the ring off to you, very calculated, like a real predator. You know, like makes you panic, lands some shots, doesn't overcommit to his offense, and by not overcommitting, he never puts himself out of position for the follow-up. He never lets you off the hook. You know, if a guy gets out of position when he throws his offense, there's two things you can do. One, you can counter him. Two, you can also escape and cause a reset. It's very hard to cause a reset with Golovkin because he's never out of position. So you're always under duress all 3 minutes, cutting you off under duress. One thing he doesn't do, though, and I've noticed, and I've said it in several interviews, he doesn't move his head very much. So as great of an offensive fighter as Golovkin is, there are moments where Kell can pick him off.
Do you see what I mean about the technical side of things, though? He's really gone in. He's really saying, you know, if Kell is able to sustain a level round after round, stay on top of his game, you know, make GGG think about his fight, there's every possibility that he could win. But even Paulie knows that it's going to be a big, massive.
It's a tough ask, but I think, you know, he's got a country behind him. It's, you know, the support there is going to be 90% for Kell Brook. Yeah. You know, let's hope he does it, man. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, no, we'll do. I hope he does it. It'll be. There's 2 world title fights on that bill. A young man by the name of Mr. Edwards, I forget his surname. Look out for him. He's only had 9 fights and he's fighting for a world title already. So if he emerges victorious and Kell does, that'll be, I think, 14 and 15 world champions that this country has produced, and what a place to be. You know, what a position to be in. Credit to Matchroom and credit to all the world champions out there
and
that work hard, to be honest.
Still intrigued what Chris Eubank Jr. is up to this weekend.
You'll be watching.
Big shout out to Chris Eubank.
No, big shout out to Chris Eubank.
We're going to get Chris on here?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, if we don't get him on here because he's all the way in Brighton and we know he's a consummate professional, trains every day.
Like a madman.
Like an absolute nutter. Every day. Like something's wrong.
Bit like Wong. Wong is in the gym every day.
You do not every day, but not every minute of a day.
But you train every day, right?
Yeah, training every day, yeah.
So
one day rest, yeah.
What day is that? Sunday?
Depend. Sunday or Monday, depend. I just do 1 day rest and then most of the day training, yeah.
Most of the day training?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's for them profession, they normally train quite a lot in it. They train for 6-7 hours, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
6-7 hours?
Yeah.
What day?
No, for the professional fighter.
The fighters will get up, do the run in the morning, do the midday training.
Yeah, they probably do 2 to 3 sessions a day.
Yeah. 3 so it's about 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. But that's what the profession, they have to be done though, isn't it?
Of course. And I don't think that people in general, you know, boxing fans, the general boxing fan realises what really goes in.
I think I don't know you say that. I think they do now, you know.
No,
social networking allows the life. Allows do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't even have known that Chris Eubank was something. I see him training sometimes, and all right, the camera's on and all the rest of it. He's making it look good. Boom.
Yeah.
But it's every day. It's almost like wow, you know, that gives you a different appreciation to the dedication that these fighters have. So I think maybe the fight fan does know now.
Do you think so?
I think so. And if they don't, they've got the access to find out, which is an interesting phenomenon.
I'd like to know the viewers' thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, true. Get back to us. Do you really appreciate and understand and take into consideration what fighters do? Send your responses and feedback to
some
Combat
information in it.
Yeah.
To tell them what the fighter get up to when they're prepared for fighting, innit?
Yeah.
Because mostly, I don't think most of people know, because as soon as you see them on TV and dancing or fighting and that, they don't know what involved, you know? There's so much involved.
You know, with the likes of 24/7, you know, and the documentaries, which is only a few, only a few. You know, you get to see, but it's more story-led, isn't it? It's more story.
No,
they get to see clips. They get to see a glimpse. Yeah. But I think if some, you know, the general public, if they was actually to see the time, you know, you get a glimpse of stuff on.
Fly on the wall would be good.
Yeah, like real deep.
Yeah,
like the actual depth.
No, real talk. So, it's funny. I follow Chris Algieri on Instagram.
Okay.
And all he ever does is post. Chris, if you're watching, mate, I know what you eat every day, fam. Like you post pictures of food every day. So some people that might criticise me for the same thing. Actually, when I walk into a press box, that's all I seem to do. Head straight for the food. But Chris, you know your meals are healthy. You look in shape. Show me another aspect of your life in it if you can, please. Like, please.
Does he eat bacon?
I don't know, fam. I don't really focus on bacon, to be honest. I try and steer clear of it. Like, Miles, have you had bacon today? Is that what it is?
Is that why?
Do you eat bacon? Don't tell me organic bacon, because you know there's no such thing as organic bacon, is there?
Of course you've got organic bacon, organic pig.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem.
Organic pig.
Organic bacon.
This is the problem.
This is the problem. You don't have organic bacon, you eat a lot of rubbish and you're gonna it's like I mentioned, man. It's like you treat your body, it's like a dustbin. You put everything into your body. No wonder you're like moving compost, man. Do you know what I mean? The moving compost.
What was it you was telling me the other day, Wong, about the what pigs are fed?
Yeah, pig fed with all sort of shit, man. You know that they made the pig fat, you know, cement, dust, cardboard, shit stuff to make the pig fat. Because when you sell pig, you sell by kilo, don't it? You know, so then what do you think of what happened when you eat all that rubbish into it? Then what antibiotic onto their body, you know, to make sure you don't have disease. So when you eat them kind of meat into your body, imagine what happened to your body.
I wonder if...
well, look at the state of Joe.
I am one fat pig. I wonder what Claire Baycroft has to say about that.
Well, she's got the 5 fit tips. Maybe we should roll on to her, really.
Yeah, we're puckling to her.
Yeah, let's head to the 5 fit tips. Right, it's that time of the show. We spoke about it earlier on the phone. We have, sorry, not on the phone, on Skype. We have Claire Baycroft with 5 fit tips. Claire, you there?
Hey.
How you doing? You good?
Hey. Hiya.
All right. Listen, we're gonna go in sharp, short and sharp. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 5.
5. Cut the carbs. Ditch the refined sugar.
4.
Eat more meat, fish and eggs and keep the fat on.
3.
Head to the weight section and lift heavy.
2.
Try something new to keep your workout fresh.
1.
Do what you love the most and whatever makes you happy.
Oh, that's me all over, that is.
I like that number 1, Claire.
That's me all over, that is. I love that one. Thank you very much, Claire. Appreciate that. Where can people find you during the day, or do you want to keep that secret? She's gone.
She disappeared already?
She's off.
I'm here.
Oh, sorry about that. Technical glitches. Well, I just want to know where people can find you, or can maybe look for, you know, some more fit tips.
Yeah, cool. So I'm Claire Delta X Baycroft on Facebook, or check out Fight Club, that's Club with a K, Fight Club HQ on Facebook.
Okay, listen, brilliant. Thanks for your contribution to the first ever
Thank you.
Combat and Strength podcast. Yeah, it's been.
Welcome.
No worries, it's been emotional. We'll speak to you soon, Claire. Have a good day.
Take care.
All right.
Take care. Cheers, Claire. Bye bye.
She's a good girl.
She's a good girl.
Very good girl.
Yeah, she's done well. I mean, I don't know how good, Joe. I don't know her.
You don't?
I'm going to go train with her one day.
You see the Fight Club stuff though, Senny and the Combat and Strength Show? Thought I'd plug that one there.
Is she in there?
Yeah, you know the Fight Club where they do like an aerobic workout and all the guys on the bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claire's one of the main ladies of Fight Club.
Oh, right.
She's the main organizer of
She
Fight Club.
have stamina.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they had the
DJ Khaled voice. I like that.
they had Big PA with General Levy at this year's show.
So style and substance, fit, style, substance. Good look.
I mean, if Rob was on his game, he would have got it up on the video.
Rob, we trying to say Rob can't get it up.
Rob's drinking Costa.
Yeah, let's leave it, shall we? You might need fit tips from someone else. So listen, that was Claire Bakecroft with her fit tips for the week. Thank you, Claire. Really appreciate that. It's competition time now, folks. Are you ready? Drum roll, please.
Let's go.
Right, these lot have given us £250 worth of merch.
How much?
200, was it $2.5 grand?
Is it 200?
It was a quarter of a mil.
250
something.
Something. It's a start.
250 something. And we're going to give you a couple of weeks to win it, yeah? So what you need to do...
Who's this lot, by the way?
I don't know.
What about the people listening on iTunes?
Yeah, well, I don't know who these lot are. Who are they?
Maxi Nutrition.
Maxi Nutrition.
Maxi Muscle.
Big up Maxi Muscle, Maxi Nutrition, Maxi everything. Big them up. Yeah, they're giving us 250. Tell them a bit about it, Joe, so that they know
they're giving
the
I wish they was giving it to us,
Well.
to be honest. But
They keep doing
we got £250 worth of free product to give away. It is the winner of the competition's choice, what product they want.
Right.
And we're going to make that draw in episode 3. So we've got episode 1 and episode 2, where we're going to plug the competition. And we're going to make the draw on episode 3. But I know you've got the question.
I have got the question. How many rounds is a world title boxing bout? Wong, you got the answer, haven't you? This is actually Wong's question.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's exactly Wong's question.
But I don't know.
There's a lot of deliberation.
I don't know what rounds was going around in his head because he's a bit older. He might have been thinking of when they were black and white films when they was fighting.
And truly, his martial arts doesn't really go rounds, does it?
No.
So how you haven't told them how did it win it? What you need to do?
I didn't really want to tell them. I wanted them to email that to me. So he didn't tell us where to, and then that's what made kept the equipment and all the rest of the product. In order to send your answers over to win the stuff, all right. All you got to do is hit at Combat and Strength. Where, Joe?
At Combat and Strength
on Twitter,
Facebook. That's it.
And that's it. It's as simple as that.
Even
really.
if you hit us up on our own, I'm sure they still count. Even if you hit Master Wong.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the answer. If you find us on any other platforms.
What the hell is that doing on the screen?
Rob's new to this, man. Rob.
I'm not new. That's what makes it worse. I apologise, viewers, for that.
It's all good.
It's because I'm drinking Costa.
Yeah, see what happens.
Can't get this.
Sorry.
We only couldn't get it up earlier. Might be a rumour. £250 worth of Maxi Muscle product. All you got to do is answer the question, how many rounds is a world title boxing bout? Send your answers to Combat and Strength on Twitter, Combat and Strength on Facebook, and the winner will be announced in 2 weeks' time. And thanks for your support, guys. Anticipated support, because this has been the first one, isn't it?
It's been the first one.
It's been emotional.
It's been a nice day.
Yeah, it's been emotional. We came at you heavy as well. We came with like big global interviews. Proper.
Big.
I think the next one gonna be nice. The next one gonna be nice. Next show.
This one was nice.
Who we got next week? Who we got next week?
Who's on next week?
We might as well just keep hitting them.
Yeah, let's hit him. Let's hit him with next week.
Who we got next week?
We've got Peter Fury next week.
Boom.
The one and only Peter Fury. Very, very intelligent man. You know, he's calm and influence in that Fury camp. It'd be interesting to see what he's got to say about the upcoming fights with his son, Yuri Fury, against an unbeaten prospect, and also Tyson Fury in the much-awaited rematch with Vladimir Klitschko. So, lots to talk to him about. There's been a few allegations that have flown around about Tyson Fury. It'd be good to clear some of that up. What else are we looking at next week? What else are we looking at next week? What?
fight tip, didn't it?
Yeah, well,
We've got 5 fight tips.
We got 5
every
tips
week.
coming every week.
5 tips coming every week.
And we are also looking at MMA and
in Olympics. MMA in Olympic.
Maybe wushu.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think
Find out next week. What is it? I don't know. I need to Google them first, isn't it? Find out.
MMA in the Olympics. Pipe dreams. Might as well talk about pipe dreams.
Pipe dreams next week.
Yeah.
Keep it locked, people.
Definitely.
It's been the Combat and Strength podcast with this man.
And this man. It's Campbell. It's Wong. It's Long.
Catch you next week.
Catch you next week.